Shalom, wouldn't start off souls but giving all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the Apostle, great most, and honors to you brothers doing the work of the Most High in truth and in sincerity. Yahweh is the real name of whom the world ignorantly calls God, Jehovah Yahweh. His real name is Yahweh. And the Son's true name is Yahweh Shai. And when we pray Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, meaning in, meaning the, and Sham, meaning names Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai. Real quick, this is based something like based sort of from this one Iran Observer. Made me think also of Israel's alleged use of artificial intelligence as well, and just basically how this devil is working on these these killing machines that are autonomous, right? We are aware that they're gonna start off using these against Jake, right? Was ultimately where his number one enemy, right? But these weapons are going to be used as well in this in this war to end all wars. Okay, so the last days of this man's kingdom, right, are going to be bloody as hell, right? But that's okay because the Most High wills it, right? Real quick, this is Isaiah 66. I'll read into it from 15. It says, "For behold, Yahweh will come with fire." Right, and even on that, real quick, this is Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on earth, and what will I, if it be already kindled? Right, and what will this base saying? The Lord Yahweh wants there to already be a fire, right? By the time that he's coming, right, he wills for it to be the case that there's already fire on earth. So when you read here, it says, the Lord, he will come with fire, right? There's going to already be a fire on earth, right? It says, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, turned his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. Right? This is primarily referring to when Yahushua comes with his chariots, right? But just in general, when the scripture says, that there's going to be a lot of slain, right? That's because the Lord is going to, is the one ultimately wishing for it, right? Whether it's by way of the chariots or, before Yahushua arrives on the scene fully, right? Because scriptures speak about, how the issues of life and death belong to the Lord, right? That the Lord base is going to put cold spirit on this place, right? Because you're gonna be getting bloodshed from all angles, right? Bloodshed from all angles, death, in these last days, and all from all different ways. And you think of how is this one phrase? This is Second Ezra's 16 and 22. It says, "For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine." Right. So one of the things that's going to happen, right, is there's going to be a famine. Now Esau may be the one orchestrating or whatever, what have you, right? Whether it's plague or on purpose, but there's going to be a lack of food. Right, we've seen everything that's happening in the Middle East. Right, when you have them, when we start feeling the knock-on effects of all of those shipping tankers not being able to reach their destination, right, and the increase in costs like that, right, we're gonna be, food is gonna start becoming scarce and or too expensive, right? It says, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right, so there's going to be a whole load of death in these last days, right? And all this, technology, these high-end killing machines, are very much going to be taking part in that, right? But this is, from a geopolitical perspective, right, about that, region, there in the Middle East, which we know that it ain't gonna, never get hot. Right, we know that it's only a matter of time, right, before prophecy is fulfilled in that region. Okay, because for instance, Iran, that's they're mentioned in the scriptures. The Carmanians, right? They're mentioned in the scriptures, and they're backed by who? By the Russians, right? Ezekiel the 38th chapter, right? Basically going into how the Gog and Magog, right, will be a guard unto them. So America can't just do anything to Iran. Okay, so let me read it. It says, amid high tensions in the region, Iran has deployed a new anti-ship cruise missile that operates with AI and has a range of 1,000 kilometers, right? So around 600 miles. It says the cruise missile is capable of changing targets during its travel and avoid enemy radars, right? So basically, once again, killing machines, right? Deadly killing machines, right? Just being able to, use this high end witchcraft that the Lord has given these Edomites to do. Because yeah, we see it's Iran that has developed it, but where did this technology originally come from, right? Where did the missile technology originally come from? It's just these other nations have basically seen what has been done, right, and then gone, oh shit, we can do that too. This is Joel 3 and 10. All right, it says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Right, referring to, start diverting, funds from agriculture into weaponry. Okay, it says, let the weak say, I am strong. All right, so yeah, these, Persians did once have a great what's the word I'm looking for? These Persians at some point did have a great empire. However, that is no longer the case, right? But just a couple of decades ago. However, right, the Lord has basically put the spirit in whereby they can now stand up to America. Right now, without Russia's backing, how successful they are, that's something. But it's still a thing of these nations also have the bomb, right? They can also be like, yo, what you saying, right? Ain't like before, right, where they could just, yeah, ain't like Afghanistan or Iraq where they could just go in, right, unimpeded, right? Iran is a force to be reckoned with, okay. So then also we can go into this one. This is from Le Monde. Says Israel's use of AI in bombings raises questions over rules of war. Right, the number of victims and the unprecedented scale of the damage caused by Israel's military bombardment of Gaza have reignited the debate on the use of AI in weapons systems. Right, because that's what it says here. The Israeli army's use of AI to maximize its attacks on the Islamist movement. Its use of AI has been presented as one of the key components of the IDF's targeting tools for its airstrike campaigns on the Gaza Strip. The AI system is called Habzara, or Gospel in English. Okay, and this is a thing because whenever you've looked at artificial intelligence, especially in cars, one of the debates has always been if in the event of an accident, who's at fault, right? So if a car, an automated car basically drives into someone and kills them, who's at fault? The driver, the company that made the car, or something else, right? So that's probably one of the aspects, right? Because you can see how these devils can spin. Oh well, it was the AI that chose those targets, so we're not at fault, right? Try wiggle their way out of it as these these devils, we know they'll do, right? But once again, this is just in this particular instance, right? But we once again know that ultimately he's going to be using this technology to to have his robot armies, which are going to be basically trained to take Jake out, man. Well, you already heard, we've already been told, he's already been conditioning us to know that this AI is quote unquote racist, right? So Esau's already told you that AI is racist. So once again, don't be surprised, right, when the time comes, that there'll be, Slovakia, that they'll be, using it to basically get Jake. Right, it says from foreignpolicy.com, it says how AI will revolutionize warfare, right? And once only E is gonna be, thinking that look at my weaponry, it's powerful and deadly. Let me make it even more powerful and even more deadly, right? That's just Esau. That's his spirit, right? Because what was his blessing? His blessing in Genesis the 27th chapter was the blessing of the sword, right? Oh, he does not. Oh, that's the scriptures say that, right? If I can remember how it's phrased, Is it Vein? It'll be Vain. So let me see. Right, so this is Romans 13 and 4 says, for he is the minister of God to thee for good, right? It's referring to Esau. It says, but if thou do that which is evil, right, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. And you see here the precept to that is Psalm 17 and 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Right, so he is the sword of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Right, the Lord is basically using this devil for his purpose. Right, but the point that I wanted there was he beareth not the sword in vain. When Esau's got that sword, look, he's gonna use it. Right, he's perfected it. Right, and he's going to continue doing so because that's just in his spirit. All right, real quick, this is Psalms 140. All right, it says from the top, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man, which imagine mischief in their heart. Continually are they gathered together for war. Right, and to be continually gathered together for war, one of the things they do, right, is to perfect their war machines. Right, and this AI, right, is one of the cogs that is basically they are using rather to improve their military prowess, if you will. That's the right word. Let me just confirm that. Yeah, prowess, skill or expertise in a particular activity or field, bravery in battle. Right, so this is back to the foreign policy article. This is when it comes to advanced artificial intelligence. Much of the debate has focused on whether white-collar workers are now facing the sort of extinction level, blah, blah, blah. It says, next paragraph is the latest AI known as generative pre-trained transformers, right? So GPT, so you get the GPT from in ChatGPT. Promises to utterly transform the geopolitics of war and deterrence. Right now, on a very basic level, right? AI is just complex maths. It's when you look at what is it you got when you basically look at some of the basic models. It's just if you have given this input, what is the likelihood you'll give that input, right? So what's that? The word escapes me right now. It's statistics. That's the most basic form, right? But Lord has put the spirit in this devil to use, those concepts to basically build and build and build to effectively, have things that are really rather okay at answering stuff. Right, and that's why they're quite power intensive, and why they need large data sets, right? Because it's all about probabilities, and statistics, right? And on that, it's Ezekiel 28 and 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee, right? So the Lord has made this devil wise, right? Has made this devil very wise, and he's uses his that wisdom, right, to further death, right, in this world, right? But ultimately that's what he was created to do anyway, right? So it says promises to utterly transform the geopolitics of war and deterrence. It says it will also do so in ways that are not necessarily comforting, which may even turn existential, right? And this is it. Esau will also then telegraph, right? Thus the name of the lesson. It also then telegraph this AI going rogue, right? And then constantly just destroying the world, right? Looking at whether the basically saying the rulers of this the people are wicked, right? And therefore the AI does what the AI turns on them, right? Which even as I'm saying, I'm finding it rather interesting, because this AI is sort of like Esau's one of the things he's trying to make like his god or his angel or whatever, right? But in all of his movies he's saying that it's gonna turn on him, right? Just like how the real a god of the universe, right? Yahweh, right? He's basically gonna take Esau out, right? Because Esau is just a tool that is being used by Yahweh Shem Shai, and when the Lord doesn't need him anymore, right, and deems him to have been like, okay, cool, you've done enough. Now it's time to take you out. He's gonna be taken out, right? But I'm gonna grab some more precepts and I'll call it a lesson. Right, so Ezekiel 21:9, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith Yahweh, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Right, that word there's always go into, furbish goes into polish, right? And when you think about that word polish, you think about, to perfect something, right? So the Lord has put the spirit on this devil to perfect his use of the sword. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. Right, and I'm doing this, the day before, this lesson day before, Saturnalia, right? And what's Jake gonna be doing in mass tomorrow? Just mirthing it out, right? No, no consideration that is a highly demonic day. No consideration of the things that are to basically it's like of the things that are to come around the corner, right? And now we're hoping that things start moving very very soon, right? But ultimately we understand that we're on the schedule of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? So continuing on, what it says that it is sharpened to make a sore slaughter, right? So as we was touching at the beginning of the lesson, right, the Lord wants there to be mass death by the time He comes back, right? And then what is He gonna do? He's gonna add to that death, right? So it says, and He hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, to give it into the hand of the slayer, right? And as we read in Psalm 17:13, right, that slayer, right, is Esau, but he's the sword of the Lord, right? This is 2 Ezra 16:70, for they shall be in every place, and in the next city is a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord, right? They shall be like mad. And once again, when you read into this whole thing about Israel and their use of AI, one of the things they've been saying is they've been using it to find the targets, right, and to perfect the targeting, right, of people, right? So we know they're going to be coming for us, right? Let's just put it like that, right? And that's why we're going to need the protection of Yahweh Shem Shai, right? Because what does it say in Isaiah 66:17? Actually, I've still got it open, so I'll jump down to it. Oh no, it's like it's different. I'm thinking of something else. Like I'm thinking of Isaiah 54:17, right? It says, "No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper," right? And that's why ultimately, if we be of the elect, we really got nothing to worry about, right? Things are gonna get tough, right? Some of us may even be martyred, for the sake of Yahweh Shem Shai. But guess what? We gonna be all right, right? Wisdom, the 3rd chapter, right? The side of the unwise they seem to die, right? It says, "And every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh." Right, so back to 2 Ezra 16, right, 71. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses, right? Then shall they know who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold, is as the gold in the fire. Okay. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right. So once again, obviously, just as I'm saying, speaking as a man, but I can see this devil using this technology, right, to target Jake, right? To target the men of the Lord. But that's why Scripture says this real quick. This is Isaiah 59. Is that 19? Right, it says, "So shall they fear the name of Yahweh from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him." Right, so the Lord is going to lift a stand up against this devil, right? But whilst He's protecting His men, right? So it says, "For the devil has come down unto," back in Revelation 12:12. "For the devil has come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And how does he know that he's got a short time? Right, because he be seeing all of the men of the Lord rising up. He be seeing these prophecies being fulfilled. Right, Ezekiel the 37th chapter, Deuteronomy 28:8. right? And then he's also saying, these other prophecies, right, of the impending destruction coming to pass. Right? So he's scared. So he's gonna have to start lashing out real soon. Right? But once again, that's why we need the protection of Yahweh Shem Shai, right, in these last days. So as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Until next time we say, Shalom.